Welcome back, my channel. Old Crypto coined the Liberty half dollar of the United States, especially coins like the 1971 Kennedy half dollar and the 1993 Kennedy half dollar hold a fascinating place in American coin history. And today we're diving deep into their story, their design, their minting background, collector interest, hidden varieties, and the truth about their real market value. When people hear Liberty half dollar, many imagine an old silver coin with Lady Liberty walking across the front. But by 1971 and 1993, the half dollar most people know is actually the Kennedy half dollar, a coin that replaced the Franklin half dollar after President John F. Kennedy's assassination, and quickly became one of the most emotionally significant coins ever produced in the United States. The 1971 issue is especially important because it marks the beginning of the copper-nickel-clad era for half dollars intended for circulation, moving away from the earlier silver composition that collectors loved. That change alone makes the 1971 coin a turning point date, a moment when U.S. coinage economics shifted forever, and understanding that transition is key for any serious coin hunter or collector watching this video. Let's start with the 1971 Kennedy half dollar. When you hold this coin, you are holding a piece of monetary transition. From 1964 to 1970, half dollars still contained silver, first 90% and then 40%. But beginning in 1971, standard circulation pieces were struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition. The front shows a strong left-facing portrait of President Kennedy, with the word Liberty across the top, the date below, and the motto "In God We Trust" split around the neck truncation. The reverse displays a heraldic eagle with shield, olive branch, arrows, and a ring of stars, a powerful, detailed design adapted from the presidential seal. Many viewers overlook how sharp and intricate this reverse design is, and high-grade examples with strong feather detail and clean fields can command strong collector premiums. Coins were struck in multiple mints, including Philadelphia and Denver, and proof versions were produced in San Francisco, which means there are several collectible paths depending on mint mark and condition. Now here's where it becomes exciting for collectors and treasure hunters. While most 1971 half dollars are common in circulated grades, condition is everything. A heavily used coin might be worth only face value, but an uncirculated coin with blazing luster, no contact marks, and strong strike can be worth significantly more. Even more interesting are proof coins and special mint issues, where mirror-like surfaces and frosted devices create a cameo contrast that collectors pay attention to. There are also minor varieties and strike differences that advanced collectors look for: double details, die-polished lines, off-center strikes, clip planchets, and other mint errors that can dramatically increase value. Error coins are the wild cards of modern collecting, and while they are rare, they are absolutely real and highly sought after when authenticated. Moving ahead to the 1993 Kennedy half dollar, we enter a very different phase of the coin's life. By the early 1990s, half dollars were no longer widely used in everyday commerce. Most were produced mainly for collectors, casino use, and storage in Federal Reserve vaults. That limited circulation created an interesting situation. Although the coin is modern, many examples stayed in relatively high grade because they simply did not circulate heavily. The 1993 half dollar carries the same core design, but minting quality, die preparation, and collector packaging had improved over time. Philadelphia and Denver produced circulation strikes, while San Francisco focused on proof coins for collector sets. Proof 1993 half dollars often show deep mirror fields and sharp detail, and high-end graded proofs can be desirable additions to modern U.S. type sets. One of the most overlooked opportunities with coins like 1971 and 1993 half dollars is grade selection and eye appeal. Two coins of the same year and mint can have dramatically different values depending on strike sharpness, luster, marks, and toning. Natural rainbow toning, frosty mint bloom, or deep cameo-proof contrast can push collector demand higher. Professional grading services assign numeric grades, and top population examples, the finest known for that date and mint, can bring impressive auction prices compared to ordinary pieces. This is why knowledgeable collectors examine not just the date, but the surface quality, rim condition, and design clarity under magnification. Another important factor is mint errors and special finishes. Collectors actively search rolls and mint sets for double dies, repunch mint marks on earlier dates, misaligned dies, broad strikes, and transitional planchet errors. While you should never assume every coin is a jackpot, it is absolutely true that certain authenticated errors from these years can sell for far more than face value. Proof sets from 1993 and mint sets from the early 1970s are also broken apart by dealers looking for top-grade candidates, which tells you how much demand there is for superb examples. The key message here is knowledge plus condition equals opportunity. Historically, the half-dollar denomination itself tells a bigger American story. Once a workhorse coin used in daily trade, it gradually faded from pocket change and became more of a collector and ceremonial piece. The 1971 issue shows the economic shift away from silver, while the 1993 issue shows the shift away from circulation relevance. Together, these two dates form a timeline of change, metal change, usage change, and collector behavior change. That makes them excellent teaching coins for new collectors and interesting study pieces for advanced ones. So if you have 1971 or 1993 Kennedy half dollars at home, don't rush to spend them. But also don't assume every coin is worth a fortune. Check mint marks, look at condition, compare strike quality, and watch for errors. Store better examples safely, preferably in holders that prevent scratches and environmental damage. If you believe you have a high-grade or unusual piece, consider getting it evaluated by a reputable coin dealer or grading service. Coin collecting rewards patience, observation, and continuous learning, and even modern half dollars can become valuable pieces of a well-built collection. That's the real power of understanding your coins, turning ordinary change into informed opportunity through knowledge and careful examination. The 1971 Liberty half dollar, officially known as the 1971 Kennedy half dollar, is one of the most fascinating modern U.S. coins because it marks a major turning point in American coinage history. And today we're going to explore why this coin still captures attention among collectors and treasure hunters across the United States. When you first look at the 1971 half dollar, you see the familiar portrait of President John F. Kennedy on the front, a design that had already become iconic in the years after its introduction in 1964, symbolizing national pride, memory, and legacy. But what makes the 1971 issue truly special is not just the design, it's the composition change that happened right before it. Starting in 1971, the U.S. Mint stopped using silver in regular circulation half dollars and shifted to a copper-nickel-clad composition, making this the first year the half dollar was produced without any silver content for everyday circulation. That single decision created a dividing line between earlier precious metal issues and the modern clad era, and collectors often treat the 1971 coin as the beginning of a new chapter. The obverse shows Kennedy's strong left-facing profile, with the word Liberty across the top, "In God We Trust" split below the portrait, and the date 1971 at the bottom, while the reverse features a powerful presidential seal with an eagle, shield, olive branch, and arrows, a bold design that gives the coin a commanding presence even decades later. What many people don't realize is that although millions of 1971 half dollars were minted, finding high-grade examples today is not as easy as the raw number suggests, because many of these coins entered circulation, picked up scratches, bag marks, and wear, and were often stored loosely rather than carefully preserved. Coins from the Philadelphia Mint carry no mint mark, while those from the Denver Mint show a small D, and both versions are widely collected in uncirculated grades. There is also a special 1971 S-proof version struck in San Francisco specifically for collectors, featuring mirror-like fields and frosted design details that create a beautiful contrast. Proof coins were never meant for circulation and were sold in collector sets, and today they are often the best-looking examples of the year. Condition is everything in modern coin collecting, so a worn 1971 half dollar might be worth only face value, but a sharply struck, fully uncirculated coin with strong luster and minimal marks can command a noticeable premium, and top-graded certified examples can sell for much higher prices due to registry competition among advanced collectors. Another exciting aspect of the 1971 half dollar is the possibility of varieties and mint errors, which add a layer of mystery and treasure hunting to this coin. Error coins such as off-center strikes, clip planchets, double strikes, and dramatic die breaks can transform an ordinary half dollar into a highly desirable collectible. Even more subtle features, like double die characteristics or unusual die polish lines, are closely studied by specialists who search rolls and mint sets hoping to discover overlooked gems. Because this was the first clad year, minting adjustments and die experimentation led to minor variations that variety hunters still research today. When you examine one of these coins under magnification, you begin to appreciate the fine details, the hair texture, the lettering edges, the eagle feathers, and you understand why grading services focus so heavily on strike quality and surface preservation. Collectors also love the 1971 half dollar because it's affordable, accessible, and educational, making a perfect entry point for new hobbyists while still offering challenges for experts. You can still occasionally find these coins in bankrolls, old drawers, inherited collections, and mixed coin lots, which means the thrill of discovery is always alive. Building a dated mint set of Kennedy half dollars often starts with the early clad years like 1971, and from there collectors branch into proofs, special strikes, and high-grade certified pieces. The coin also tells a broader economic story. The removal of silver from circulating coinage reflects the rising cost of precious metals and the government's need to adapt, making the 1971 half dollar a small but powerful artifact of changing times in American history. If you're searching your coins today, don't ignore the 1971 Liberty half dollar just because it's common in circulated form. Look for uncirculated shine, strong details, proof issues, and unusual errors, because value in coin collecting is driven by rarity within condition and uniqueness within production. Store any nice examples in protective holders. Avoid cleaning them, and compare them carefully with high-grade reference images if you think you found something special. This single coin connects history, design, economics, and the excitement of the hunt, and that combination is exactly why collectors continue to study and collect the 1971 United States half dollar more than half a century after it was struck. The 1993 United States half dollar is one of those coins that many people overlook, yet it carries a powerful mix of history, symbolism, and collector interest that can quietly turn an ordinary pocket piece into a conversation starter. When you first look at the 1993 Kennedy half dollar, you're seeing more than just 50 cents. You're holding a continuation of a design that has represented American pride and remembrance since 1964. The obverse features the iconic portrait of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts, with a strong left-facing profile that gives the coin a bold and dignified appearance. The word Liberty stretches across the top. The motto, "I in God we trust," is split across the lower field, and the date 1993 sits clearly beneath the portrait. On the reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, the presidential seal dominates the center, a heraldic eagle with a shield on its chest, arrows in one claw and an olive branch in the other, surrounded by stars, a design packed with meaning about strength, readiness, and peace. By 1993, the half dollar was no longer widely used in everyday commerce, which makes coins from this period especially interesting because most are produced mainly for collectors and bank storage rather than daily circulation, and that changes how we think about availability and condition today. Now, let's talk about composition and minting details, because this is where many viewers begin to understand why some 1993 half dollars are more collectible than others. Unlike the early silver Kennedy halves of the 1960s, the 1993 half dollar is a clad coin made from a copper core layered with a copper-nickel outer shell. This gives it durability and a familiar silver-colored surface without containing precious metal. The coin weighs 11.34 grams and measures 30.6 millimeters in diameter, making it one of the largest circulating U.S. coins still produced at the time. In 1993, half dollars were struck at two main mints for circulation, Philadelphia and Denver, carrying the P and D mint marks respectively. In addition, San Francisco produced proof versions bearing the S mint mark, specially struck with polished dies and planchets to create mirror-like fields and frosted design elements. Proof coins were never meant for circulation. They were sold directly to collectors in protective packaging, and high-grade proofs from 1993 often show stunning contrast and detail when preserved properly. Mintage numbers also play an important role in how collectors evaluate the 1993 half dollar. While millions were struck, the overall demand for half dollars in circulation had already declined sharply by the early 1990s. That means many coins were stored in rolls and bags rather than heavily used, which is why uncirculated examples are not rare, but truly superb. Flawless specimens are still desirable. Condition is everything in modern coin collecting. A worn 1993 half dollar found in change may only be worth face value, but a sharply struck, fully lustrous uncirculated coin graded at the top of the scale can command a noticeable premium among registry set collectors who compete for the finest known examples. Grading services evaluate factors like strike quality, surface preservation, luster, and eye appeal, and even tiny marks can separate an average mint state coin from a top population piece. Another fascinating angle for your viewers is the difference between business strike coins and proof coins from 1993. Business strikes were made for general release using high-speed presses, while proofs were struck more slowly with multiple strikes per coin to bring out detail. A 1993 S-proof half dollar often shows deep mirrored backgrounds and sharp design edges, and some examples display what collectors call cameo or deep cameo contrast, where the portrait and eagle appear frosty against glossy fields. These visual effects make proof coins especially attractive for display and long-term collecting. If preserved in original government packaging with certificates, proof coins tend to hold stronger collector interest than loose examples removed from their sets. Collectors also like to search 1993 half dollars for varieties and errors, because mint mistakes can transform an ordinary coin into a premium collectible. While major dramatic errors are not common for this date, possibilities include off-center strikes, clip planchets, die cracks, double die features, or struck-through errors where foreign material interfered during minting. Even minor varieties, such as noticeable doubling in lettering or unusual die polish lines, can attract niche collectors. Error hunting adds excitement because it turns every coin into a potential discovery. Roll searching half dollars from bank boxes has become a popular hobby, and although silver coins are rarely found in 1993 dated rolls, the thrill of the hunt keeps collectors engaged. The historical context of the early 1990s also adds depth to the story of this coin. America in 1993 was in a period of technological growth and global change, and while paper currency and electronic payments were expanding, the half dollar continued mostly as a symbolic denomination rather than a daily use coin. Casinos, transit systems, and certain vending operations still use half dollars more than the average retailer, which means some circulated pieces show localized patterns depending on where they traveled. Talking about how circulation patterns affect coin survival can make your video feel more investigative and educational rather than just descriptive. Storage and preservation is another key topic your audience will appreciate. Even modern clad coins like the 1993 half dollar can tone, spot, or lose luster if stored improperly. Collectors prefer dry, temperature-stable environments and non-PVC holders. Simple cardboard flips, archival plastic capsules, or original mint packaging can make a major difference over decades. A brilliant coin today can become dull tomorrow if mishandled, so teaching viewers how to hold coins by the edges and avoid cleaning them is crucial. Cleaning is one of the most damaging mistakes. It can permanently reduce collector value by creating hairlines and unnatural shine. Market value discussion should be realistic but motivating. Most circulated 1993 half dollars trade at face value, while uncirculated rolls and proof examples sell at modest collector premiums depending on quality and packaging. Third-party graded coins in very high mint state or proof grades can sell for significantly more than raw coins, especially if they rank among the finest certified. The key message for viewers is that value is driven by condition, certification, demand, and eye appeal, not just age. A coin doesn't have to be 100 years old to be collectible. It needs to be desirable and top quality. That idea helps new collectors feel included and encourages them to look more closely at modern issues. To close your video, you can bring the story full circle by reminding viewers that the 1993 Kennedy half dollar represents continuity, a design born from national tragedy that evolved into a lasting tribute carried through decades of minting. Even when a coin is common, its artistry, symbolism, and journey through time give it meaning beyond its face value. Encourage your audience to check their coin jars, inherited collections, and bankrolls, because every coin is a small piece of history waiting to be examined. The 1993 half dollar may not always be rare, but in the right condition, with the right features, and in the hands of the right collector,